So after first lesson using 3ds Max, which we have here, what have I learnt? Well, basics of what the different buttons do: move, rotate, scale, various zooms and stuff. But let's get on to the creation of objects. So create, now you want to select geometry, of course, what type of object you want: box, sphere, cylinder, whatever. We'll go with a box since that's nice and simple. Now what I do is I draw it on the top view because that's where all the base will be. So let's see, we'll draw it from this. We'll make it about 4 across. There we go. Then once you've taken your hand off the button, you can then stretch the shape up and down, or whichever direction matters depending on where you drew it from. So let's get a nice even cube there, 4 across all the way, and we have our cube. Let's have a look at that by moving the camera, I suppose, on the perspective view, which is basically just meant for looking at how pretty your object is from different angles, rather than just looking at it from top down and well, top, left and front. So never mind. Let's zoom that out a bit. Okay, so from there we want to morph our shape a bit. Now what we want to do there is edit poly. Now that can either be done from vertices, edge, border, I'm not entirely sure how that works, face and element. Element's a pretty standard one. All it is just moving the shape itself around, so that's nothing particularly special. But okay, vertices, let's take, see, this point for example, and we'll stretch it out by 4, I suppose. And there we have an entirely different shape. It's still mostly a cube, but it's got a point for no point. And we'll do the same here just to make it even. So there we have our stretched out shape. Now from there let's try this angle, which, yeah, we'll try this point down here at the front, stretch that out a bit to about the same point, and now we've got a bit of an arrowhead going on from this angle. Of course, we want to make this consistent, and as we'll see, it's not quite consistent. So from this point we want to, now what I've been told to do is don't use the perspective view to edit things, but I suppose technically what you can do is select your point and rather than rely on what's being shown on this view to edit stuff, rather look at what's going on the other screens. So we can see on the other screens that it's even on all sides, so cool, we'll let that go where it is. So now we have our strange ribbon arrowhead thing shape, which was originally a cube. Isn't that lovely? Of course, it's not just the vertices we can manipulate, there's the edges as well. So let's take this top edge here and just stretch it around, and now we're changing the shape again. So we can either make it an even taller arrowhead, and apparently we're breaking the way it goes because there's a black hole there. So let's stretch it this way, and what shape have we got now? We've got a trapezoid of some kind. I'm not entirely sure. Bring it down to the front. As well as that, there's face manipulation. So, whoops! No, we only want one face, so we'll just move that around, and not just in one bit. So we can drag it all over, stretch it out here. And then we have another stretched out shape, which is by pulling the face around. And again, like I said, element is just the whole object, so yeah, not particularly specific. And yeah, now I can see where there's a bit of a problem with trying to use perspective view to edit stuff. It just messes your vision. So yeah, that's a general rundown of what I've learned to do so far in 3ds Max. It's not much, but it's a start.